Let's take you live now to Langley, BC, where a funeral procession has begun for a fallen RCMP officer. Constable Rick O'Brien was shot to death last month while executing a search warrant in Coquitlam. Police officers from across the country are honoring O'Brien, who had been on the force for 6 years and leaves behind a wife and 6 children. The funeral service for Constable O'Brien is set to begin next hour, and the CBC's Renee Filipponi is in Langley and joins us now live. So Renee, tell us more about what's happening there behind you.
Well, Andrew, it's been a steady stream of red here behind me for the last about 10 minutes as RCMP officers who are taking part in this procession march to the Langley Events Centre. Now, it was led by this procession by members of RCMP's E Division, drums and pipes band, and they were followed by the hearse carrying Constable Rick O'Brien. And behind that hearse was the riderless horse, a very poignant symbol of a fallen officer with the boots of the Mountie facing backwards in that saddle. Now, this procession is going to carry on for some time. There are other first responders behind members of the RCMP, members of other police departments. We've seen members of the ambulance service all taking part in this. This is, they've traveled from far to be here. Now, when we talk about the event that's going to happen, the funeral, that will take place at about 1:30 local time. We are going to hear from his colleagues as well as the commanding officer of the RCMP, and we will get to learn a little bit more about Constable O'Brien, a man who has been described as a hero. We're going to hear from his sister. We'll also hear from his friends and get a sense a little bit more about this 51-year-old who joined the RCMP about 7 years ago, worked in Ridge Meadows for his entire career, and he won an award for bravery not long after he joined. We have heard from his wife on social media thanking everyone in the lead up to today for their support through this. And there are also, Andrew, a number of people who've lined the sidewalks today to be here as well, dressed in red to honor Constable O'Brien.
Yeah, it's really quite amazing to see the turnout there behind you. What has the reaction to Constable O'Brien's death been like?
Well, Andrew, he died executing a search warrant last month. He was shot. There is a 25-year-old man who's now been charged with first-degree murder, but when we heard from RCMP directly after his death, there was anger, frustration, saying his death was senseless. It shouldn't have happened, pointing to the fact that a number of other officers have also been killed within the last year. In fact, 7 officers across Canada have died in 2023, 2 of them in car crashes. The other 5 were either shot or stabbed. Andrew?
Renee, thank you. That is the CBC's Renee Filipponi in Langley, British Columbia.